Here are all the tools I use for this job. I've got a cordless screwdriver with a Phillips number 2 bit on the end of it. It's a nice to have. It makes the job go quicker. I'm going to use it to put the anchors in and the screws. But I mean, if you don't have one, you can use a standard Phillips number 2 screwdriver and it will work as well. It just be, it'll take longer and be more work. I got a standard or flathead precision screwdriver. This is a 1/8 inch bit, sorry, 1/8 inch head on it. So you require that to put the locks down on the hardware. I got a measuring tape just to make sure I got the holes in the right place when I'm putting them in the wall. Here we have the Better Home Products Waterfront 6 collection paper holder or toilet roll holder, and I'm going to be installing that today. And the item number on this is 3309DB. But first I'm going to take it out of the bag, show you all the contents that should be in the bag, so that before you start you have a good idea that you have all the parts that are required. So let me just open that up. There we are. Okay, so we have 2 arms that hold the roll, the toilet roll, and it's nicely oil rubbed bronze. In these arms, you should check to make sure that you have this little, this little nub or spike that it's in here. It screws in. It's a bolt, and make sure that you have that in there. They can have a tendency to come out of those and roll out. Let's check the other arm then for the same thing. Nice and heavy. Yep, there it is right there. Now, understand you're going to have to back that up to get that to actually fit on the bracket. So here's the bracket. 2 anchors, 2 screws, and a bracket. You should have 2 of those in that package, plus the roll holder here that's collapsible. So if you have all those parts, you can move on to actually installing it in the wall, which is what I'm going to do next. The first thing we need to do is to take the existing toilet paper roll or paper holder off the wall and to begin the process of replacing it with our new one. And I've actually taken one of these off already. So I've got the bracket that's holding it on the bottom, and it secures to the wall the same way that most of these do. Little screw at the bottom, and this is the 1/8 inch standard. So basically what we're going to do is put the screwdriver in there and back that off by screwing it backwards like that. Okay, so I really can't show you that. It's too hard an angle to get at, but I'll show you me doing it. So we'll take the holder off. Then underneath in the center of mine there will be a little screw, so we'll put that in there. There we go. So back it off, and then just lift. It should just lift right off, exposing the wall bracket, which unfortunately is different from the one I'm using, so I can't use it. So we'll do the same thing on this one. There we go. Remove it. So now I got 2 brackets on the wall. Of course, they have to come off because if you look at our supplied brackets, they're nowhere near the same. So basically what we have is a horizontal bracket, a bracket that mounts horizontally, and this one mounts vertically. And how do you know? Well, these flanged edges have to go to the top and to the bottom. And on the new bracket, I'll take it out of that. There we go. On the new bracket, they actually have the flanges on top and on the bottom, not this way. So, the screws go vertically. So again, I'm going to have to replace that and take these off of there, and I'll show you how to do that and how to put these on instead. Pretty basic here, just unscrew them. Well, we got a drywall screw, and I wonder why. Thinking maybe there's a stud right here. I don't know, but that shouldn't be in there. Next, take the next one off. Yeah, well, I can see why. The wall stud or the anchor came off with that. See if I can get the screw out of there. I'll put the anchor back in. Man, it's in there good. Well, here's what you get when it's not done right. The anchor came out with the screw. Obviously the screw was put in there too tight, or the anchor was over torqued, and it just basically ripped the sheetrock apart, the drywall, as you can see here and here. So I'm probably going to fill those up with some spackle just to, you know, make the holes nice and pretty there. But again, or I may just put this old anchor back into one of the holes just to cover it up. And again, we're going to do the same thing with the second bracket. So yeah, that's what happens when you do it the wrong way. By the way, I didn't put those in. They came with the house that way. There we go. Paint it on there. That's what it actually should look like. 2 anchors on the wall like that. That one is actually correct. This is all messed up. So I'll fix that and then we'll go on from there. All right, my quick and easy repair on this, you know, situation on this mounting spot. I put the old anchor back into the hole, which makes it look nice and pretty, and actually makes the drywall pretty nice and secure all around it. Here I put some spackle compound, and it's drying right as we speak. Now I suspect what happened is there's something hard behind this wall here. Maybe there's a stud here or something like that. And what I'm going to do to check for that is, you know, well, actually I'll show you what I'm going to do to check for that in a second. But basically here's what I got. I got a scribe mark here and a scribe mark here, and they're both basically centers, and they're 22.5 inches from the floor, which is perfect for what I need it for. And the way that's actually 22.5 inches from the baseboard, and I know the baseboard's level, so as long as the 2 scribe marks are the same length from the baseboard, then they're going to be level with the baseboard, and that's great. So if you don't have a level, just measure from the floor, from your baseboard up, and make sure it's the same height from the baseboard on both sides. Next, we got the bracket. Actually, next I'm going to show you something here. I got one of the arms, and basically it will cover all that ugliness up anyway. So there's no real need to do any more to that hole than what we already have done. But what I want to do here, and you know, just to make certain everything goes right, is on this hole here where I had all the damage, because I think there's a stud behind here. What I'm going to do prior to doing anything else, after I put my marks on for where this bracket's going to go, I'm going to use a drywall screw in here and on the bottom mark as well, just to check and see if I get a bite on anything. But for now, let's mark it out. I got my marker. I'm going to go with the center mark, which I'm going to put right there on that one, and same thing on this one. Nice little center mark. It basically gives me a point of reference when I put this bracket. It has a hole in it, and again, remember the flared ends go up and vertically, so you can get this to go on there right. So basically I'm going to put that over the center mark, as such as that, and then we're going to go use my marker and mark the center here. Marker not working the greatest here, but it'll do. And one there. And now I have the 2 holes, the 2 places where I'm going to put holes in, or the anchors in, for this bracket. But like I said, I'm going to test that and with the drywall screw that I took out to see if there's an actual stud on the other side. If it bites into something, then I can't use the anchors here, and I won't do what they did and just, you know, create a great big hole. Because if you put an anchor into a place where there's a drywall screw, as soon as the anchor hits, into a place where there's a stud, as soon as that anchor hits that stud, it'll just rip up all the drywall. So make sure that before you put an anchor in, that you test it with something like, you know, say a drywall screw, and see if you get a bite on it. And if you do, just get another drywall screw and use the drywall screws to hold the bracket on. It works either way. So let's do that. All right, here's a better angle on that. I'm going to use the drywall screw here and go into that marked spot, and hopefully, well, we'll find out what we find out here. And again, don't worry about putting a hole there, because either an anchor is going there or a drywall screw is going in there. So we'll start with the drywall screw, because I suspect there might be a stud there. So I'm just going to go nice in the center of that mark. Get my drill to go the right way. Here we go. Yeah, there's definitely some stud back there, because this is getting too stiff here. Yeah, so I'll be using a drywall screw to secure that bracket down. Again, you know, and this is a 2.5 inch drywall. You don't need that much. A 2 inch or even an 1.5 inch will do just fine. So I'll back that out and get a smaller drywall screw and use that to secure that bracket. Okay, I got a couple 2 inch drywall screws. You could have used actually an 1.5 inch. But the screws that came with this wouldn't be long enough at 1 inch. I don't think you'd get enough bite into that stud behind the drywall. So let's put this up. So I got already pre-drilled somewhat the first hole. So I'll just put it on there loosely for now. And find my second hole right down here. There we go. And drill that in. And nice thing here is you get to see how to put this into a stud if that's where you're at, and how to actually you know, secure it regardless of whether there's a stud back there or not. I'll show you the other mounting way with the drywall anchors next. Telling you, that mount is never coming off. So nice and centered there pretty well, I think. There we go. Pretty well straight, not going anywhere. Okay, so next I'm going to show you the actually the procedure using the drywall anchors instead of a drywall screw into a stud, which I did right there. Okay, so we're going to put our anchor, or well, sorry, our plate here and mark it off. And this side is the side that takes anchors, and you can easily hear that it has nothing behind it. I don't know if you can hear the difference between where there's a stud. So much more hollow sound. Anyway, so we're going to put this in here and go from there. Center it up, center up the mark. Use the center mark in the center hole there. Put a little scribe in here with our marker. One there and one there. And we'll use those to punch a few little holes. And the reason I'm punching holes is because these anchors, they have a tendency to skate when you go put them in. So I'm just going to punch a hole in there and into the drywall a bit, so that actually I can you know, not have it move from where I put it, where the mark is. So let's do that. Center it up, and I'm just going to use my screwdriver here and just punch a little hole. I'm just going to wrap on the back of the screwdriver with my hand, just like that. And don't have to go very deep, just enough to put a small hole in there, like so. And that'll make the anchors go exactly where you want them to go. So we have our cordless drill again, and we put the anchor on it. And again, if you don't have the cordless drill, just use your regular Phillips screwdriver and it'll work just fine. So there we go. So as you can see, there we are. So let's go and zoom, put that in. And don't go super fast, just go slow. There we go. So now I punch through, and now there we go. And that's flush against the wall there, and that's not going to go anywhere. So put another anchor in at the bottom, So rinse and repeat basically. There we go. There we go. And that's flush against there too. So next is we're going to put the bracket on there. And we use these supplied screws with the bracket, which will work just fine. So let's do that. I'm just going to finger tighten those in there first. There we go. Now we're going to tighten them down, but not super tight, just alright, so we want to get it nice and straight and level with the other side if you can. Yeah, just eyeball it, you'll be fine, but it has a tendency to move when you tighten it down. Again, you're not securing 100 pounds to the wall. Don't go super tight. And it's going into plastic anchors, so go easy. There we go. Tight. And next, we secure the arm. And we're going to do the other side is the exact same procedure. So I'll show you both anyways. But again, you'll see that our locking nut here is like way screwed down, which is probably on purpose to keep it from getting lost. So we're going to back that up. All right, and the way this goes on is there's a hook on the top, so we're going to hook the top and make sure that we're on good. You see here that we're straight up. Then we're going to screw this in. We're going to do the same thing on the other side. Nice and secure, not going anywhere. So let me zoom that out a bit. We're going to do the same thing with the other side and the other arm. Again, make sure the holes face each other. It's kind of self-explanatory. Back off the screw on the back again. Hang it from the top. Put pressure down on it so you know you've got it nice and secure. I'm trying to stay out of the picture here. There we go. Secure that bottom screw down nicely and tightly. There we go. Just like that. Secure. Next, put the holder in. Obviously looking good. So we're ready to go with that. So that's it. And that's how you put the oil rub bronze paper holder in. And I guess the next question is over the top or around the back? Well, my preference is obviously over the top. That's it for my video. Thank you very much for watching. If you like this video and it helped you out in some way, do me a favor, click on the like button right down here. And you know, if you wish to subscribe to my channel, just click on this link up here. And that should subscribe you to the Richard Lloyd channel or Richard Lloyd USA channel. Okay, again, thank you very much for your time and watching.